What's up, guys? Check it out. We are here at the Dark Portal, which might surprise a lot of you. Well, all of you, because we're not in Pandaria. Last time you saw me, I was in the Valley of the Four Winds, and I was like 88, and now I'm here at the Dark Portal because you see, I suck at YouTube. Because at this time, what happened was, it's not that my computer went weird or I had a technical difficulty. I'll just be honest. I had fraps up and I was ready to go. Had everything set up. I talked like a fool because I didn't hit the record button. And I recorded for like 40 minutes. 40 minutes down the tube because I forgot to hit the record button. So that's what happened this time, and I'm just going to be honest and own it because dang it. So I apologize, everyone. I suck. I'm so sorry. But we're going to go ahead and get right into the Draenor portion of leveling, level 90 to 100, which is pretty exciting. And here we go. Let's do it. Now, I'm going to skip this cutscene because YouTube is insane right now, and I don't want to get a copyright strike because that's been happening a lot. And for WoW, what can trigger it is cutscenes, and so yeah. So I had to do that. YouTube needs to get their crap together because it's kind of scary right now as a content creator for YouTube. I don't want to get my channel taken down for stupid things that I'm not violating any rules. I saw a video today where this dude legit got his channel taken down, or not his channel, but he had a copyright strike on a video that was a straight up vlog of him in his yard. What the frick, dude? So anyways, so if people are getting their crap taken down for that, I don't want to get my crap taken down for a cutscene in WoW. Well, and the funny thing about that too, I've had it happen before. A couple of my videos that are up, I could not monetize because of a cutscene I had in, and I actually spoke to a dev about that, Blizzard employee, and they said that is not even, they don't even care. It's not even like in their control. They don't go in and do that. It's all automated. So yeah, it's a YouTube thing, and it's a YouTube thing that needs to be dealt with, especially for people that do gaming related anything. I mean, it's freaking YouTube. It's like, dude, come on. So yeah, anyways, enough ranting. That's 2 rants. And we've only been in this video for like a minute, like 2 minutes, and I've already ranted twice. So, so let me, positive note, now that we're moving into Draenor, I want to remind everyone that we are going to do a Season 2 of this, hopefully with less me screwing up, you know? Why can't I mount up? It says I can't mount here. That's incorrect. That is absolutely incorrect. Let me fix that. There we go. It was a light mountain issue, but I fixed it. I'm going to ride around on the Brewfest Kodo for a while because it's awesome. I love this mount. I haven't used it in a while, but when I got it, I was proud. But yeah, anyways, back to what I was saying before I got out of track. We're going to do Season 2 of WoW leveling because I love doing this, and hopefully with less screw-ups. And we're going to play Alliance, and I'm excited to do that. And I have a straw poll up, which I will post in the comments, or in the description rather, and you can pick what class I'm going to be playing. So please do that because it would make me very happy. The more votes, the better I feel, and the more excited I am. And right now there are votes. For those of you who have voted, thank you. You guys rock. You're awesome. You voted, you've liked, you've subscribed. You're doing all the great things that just make me so happy to be a part of this. And yeah, so right now I'll let you know Druid is winning in the polls. So if things keep going the way they are, I'm going to be playing a Druid on the Alliance side. I think I already know if that's what happens. I already know what race I'm going to play. So yeah, that's cool. But if it changes, I'm down because I'll play any class, man. I am a jack of all trades. I will play whatever class. I don't care if it's ranged. I don't care if it's melee. I can DPS, and that's what I do. So I will rock it regardless. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys checked it out, I have a Stardew Valley video up, which is a great freaking game. Also, I don't need to fight these things. What am I doing? Great game. You should check it out. It's an awesome game. If you haven't heard of it, it's brand new. It's like #1 on Steam right now. Like a small indie developer thing, you know, a little project. It's awesome. Great game. Very chill. It kind of calmed me down after my freaking recording fiasco a lot. So I was quite a bit. Actually, I mean, I was angry, but it could have been worse. I don't know. I'd rather it be a stupid mistake than like my computer going out or something crazy, which isn't a problem anymore. But still, that was always scary. But anyways, I'm going to try not to mention that anymore. Let's move on, everyone. I'm a little salty. But yeah, so I'm excited to do this, though. Finish this up and see what's happening. I've done this now, this Draenor stuff, well over a dozen times. Because I've done it at least once on the Horde side for every class, and I've done it for most Alliance side classes. Let's see. Yeah, I've done this 22 times. Oh my gosh. That's insane. What's wrong with me? So this is my 23rd time doing this bit of questing here. And I actually quite like the intro to Draenor. It's really neat. I mean, it's like I've done it so many times now, but it's still fun. You know, like, you know, I don't pay attention to anything anymore. I just do it. But it's still like a fun bit of questing. I hope that, I'm sure Legion will have something like that too. So I'm excited. I'm fine with it. It's not like, you know, it's not like, oh god, I gotta do that intro first. I'm fine with it. I'd rather do this than like the intro where you get your Garrison. That I hate. I get so sick of doing that. Like, I'm so over Garrisons. I would be so happy if we started Legion by legit burning our Garrisons to the ground. I hate the Garrisons so much. I'm so sorry. I hate to be negative. I hate to be cynical, but I'm so sick of Garrisons. They make me some money, so I guess I can't hate on them too much. I use them to make money right now. It's passive money. You know, it's so that I don't actually have to play the game. Isn't that great? I can do stuff in the game without actually having to play the game, because that is what I want from a video game. Thank God. No, seriously though, I can't wait to get the heck out of my Garrison. But you know, like I know, like I've shared my thoughts about Legion, and you know, there for a while, like lately, I just kind of I was going through a phase where I was really cynical, and I've talked about this before. Like, it's so hard to not be cynical sometimes, and like the problem with like negativity is that it really it spreads so much easier than positivity. Like, the more people that are negative, the easier it is for everyone else to be negative, and it's like it's a vicious cycle. And I think that like right now Blizzard is, I don't want to say they're on their heels, but there is a lot of the community, like people that are like, you need to prove to me that you can make a good, you know, like, and you know, like, you need to prove yourselves to us again. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, there's a degree of that I kind of understand. Like, I'm like, yeah, you know, as bad as I thought the game was back in MoP, like, and by bad I don't mean like a bad game, but I mean bad in comparison to what it was, or I guess I could say it wasn't giving me what I want. I mean, that first legendary video that I made, I call it legendary for my channel, it's legendary. It was actually pre Warlords, and it was like, you know, the game is fun, but it's not the same. It's lost a lot of the social aspect, and it's lost some of the world exploration aspect, and you know, it's kind of gone from this whole like, you know, coming up with creative fighting mechanics to just picking a menu, you know, that kind of stuff that I criticized the game for, but I still felt like the game had, you know, I didn't think Miss was a bad expansion overall. It's actually a really good expansion. Like, if I've really, just going back and thinking about it, like, its weakest thing for me, the enemies, like the villains of the expansion, just weren't really a draw. Like, I really didn't care about Radin and Lei Shin and, you know, all those guys. I just didn't care enough. But other than that, though, I think that Miss thematically and everything else, like the Siege, I think Siege of Orgrimmar might be one of the best raids they've ever done. I think for me it's probably second to ICC, and I actually think that Miss might be second to Wrath for me. I know that's going to tick off a lot of the BC crowd. I don't think BC was nearly as good as people like to say it was. You know, I never did. I mean, there are aspects of it that I miss. The world, you know, just having more to do. But I think that whole like attunement thing, I think that was never a good thing. I don't think anybody liked it. Like, I mean, I'm sure people liked it. I don't know. I don't think people liked it. I think that even back then it was like, frick, I gotta do this, all this crap just to get into the raid. You know, I don't think that people were down with that so much. I legit think that the system that made the most people happy was Wrath. I think that Wrath had a perfect balance of, you know, make mechanics difficult for people that need challenge, but also give, you know, the filthy casuals something to do with dungeons and like everything. Like you have a point system, you know, like you get, you know, the badges and you can buy your gear with that. I think that was a fantastic system. And you know how I can prove that it was fantastic? Because it worked so well that Blizzard never did it again. Because sometimes that's what they do. It doesn't make sense, but yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I'm getting ready to start doing this business venture. I'm starting a new business. I've been taking a lot of training and such, and one of the things that they tell you in this is like, because what I'm getting into is vending. These cutscenes should not cause a problem, I don't think, but you never know. But anyways, in vending, the big thing is always stick with what sells, and that's and it makes so much sense. Like, look, if like for example, if I'm selling soda and Mountain Dew sells the best, then obviously I want to buy more Mountain Dew because it sells the best. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to try other things and try to sell other things, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to expand and you know, provide some variety, but I'm not going to abandon the thing that sells the best. And I think that there are certain things that Blizzard has done. I think I'm getting whispered like for guild invites. I don't even care, but I think that's what that was. Oh well. Yep, that's what it was. I don't want to join your guild. But I think sometimes they've done that. I think they've, like, you know, like there were certain things that the majority of the community received well, and they decided to never do it again. And I think that a lot of people will say like, oh, I miss the Wrath days. And it's very odd that there are so many things from the Wrath expansion that they've just completely avoided, and I don't really understand why. If it worked, you know, like, I don't know if this is true, but like, you know, like it's ironic that, like, you know, with LFR and you know, all that stuff, like, and LFG, like, it, you know, like they brought those things in to make dungeons and raids more accessible, and it's like, as far as I know, dungeon and raid participation is lower now than it's like ever been, and you know, it's like, whoa, wonder, you know, like, why is that? Because it's not always about making things more accessible. It's about making things compelling, you know, and you know, like, that's part of it. It has to be compelling. It has to be, like, worthwhile. And if it's not, then people aren't. It doesn't matter. You could, like, literally, like, you could put, like, okay, what's a good? I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, you could put something that I don't really want right in front of me. It doesn't matter how easily accessible it is. You can put it right on my lap. You can put it, like, right in my face. And if I don't want it, if I'm not compelled to reach out for it, I'm not going to do it. Whereas if I really want something, I'll climb mountains for it. You know, like, I'll do whatever it takes to get it if you make it compelling. And, like, that's a key factor, I think. I think that's why, I hate to say it, it's why a lot of us hated grinding Saberstalker rep, but we wanted flying. So we did it. We complained about it, but we did it. And that's kind of the trick there. Is like, it's like, if it's not compelling, it doesn't matter. You know, like, that's kind of how you have to find a way to make it, I guess, compelling. And I don't know, maybe it's not as compelling as it used to be, and maybe part of that's because it's just like, what's the point if it's so like if it's so pointless, like it's so mindless, then like who cares? Like I've been playing this Stardew Valley game, and they're like right away people are like, oh, like make the days slower, make me walk faster, make the fishing easier, make the game easier. Like there are people that always want things to be easier, and the developer outright said, listen to me. I don't care if every single person like wants it to be easier. Like if there's a concern, like if there are things that are just broken and I get enough complaints, I'll look into it. But I'm designing this game to be what I want it to be, and I'm not changing it. I don't care if I'm not making it easier. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, thank God there's a developer out there that understands, like that you can't just, you don't always give people, like, how do I explain this? Because it sounds bad if I say you don't give people what they want. But there is somewhat of a truth to that. It's like, you don't cater to every demand even the masses, even me. Like, I don't always know what's best. Like, you can't please everybody. As a matter of fact, like, put it this way, it's better to have a community that is constantly complaining but still playing and still buying than it is to have a community of people who claim to be happy but are no longer playing. That's the truth. That's business. And, like, I would rather have people hate me but buy my crap than people love me and not buy my crap. That's what it comes down to. That's purely business. And I'm not saying that, treat people like crap, or whatever, but I would rather people complain about, and I'm not saying this is what it is, but like people complaining about the game being too hard but still trying, than people saying, "Oh, I'm so glad they made it easier," but then they're done in a week and they're no longer playing. Like, no. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want people to play. I want people to participate. I want people to buy it and subscribe to it. That's the goal. So, like, sometimes, like, like we can complain about it. It's like some of the things that, we were complaining about, we long for now. Like, oh, I miss the days when I complained about that thing in the game, But Legion looks somewhat promising in that, like, there's a garrison system. They're trying to, I got to give them credit for this. I'm a little nervous about it because it's like freaking garrisons. I just want them to go away. But, to their credit, they're like, look, we want to try to get this idea right. We came up with this idea. It looks so good. We didn't do it justice. Let's try again and see if we can win our fans over by making it in a way that's more compelling. So if they succeed, then I'll be more than happy to say, hey, good job. Way to take that idea and make it work in a way that's fun and is worthwhile, and it's not Farmville. And hey, I'm more than happy to give it a try. Like, no problem. The ability pruning, that's got a lot of us concerned too. But look, man, it's not always about how many abilities you have either. And of course, that's coming from someone who makes macros. But, like, look at Guild Wars 2. You have like five abilities total on your class, and each one of those has a purpose. And learning how to use those abilities properly is a key part of that game. Just like in Heroes of the Storm, you have 3 abilities. Using those abilities properly is key, and it's deep enough. World of Warcraft, having a class with 12 abilities to use in combat is just ridiculous. Keep this cooldown up, keep 5 dots up or whatever. It's like, dude, no, it's just like, it's not the best. It's, and granted, yeah, the concern is like, well, what if it gets so like bleh, like, okay, do this, hit this, and then hit this, and then hit this. It's like, I get it. Like, yeah, they do risk making all the classes kind of play the same, and they do risk combat being a lot more boring if they're not careful. If they're just trying to say, oh, here, But like the neat thing about it is like the way they're doing this weapon system and the way they're doing the talents. From what I've looked at, just looking at the trees, it looks like a lot of the depth in the class comes from the talents that you choose, and also from the weapons and leveling those weapons up. I think that's a big part of it as well. So I'm cool with that. Like people miss the old school talent trees. Well, these artifact weapons are basically old school talent trees. That's awesome for people that like that, and I like it because I like the way that you're going to unlock them. It's like it's not the leveling system, but it is a system like leveling up your weapons. I've always been a fan of leveling up weapons ever since I played Dark Cloud, and that's kind of like what you did in that game. It wasn't like talent trees, but you did level up the stats of your weapons, and it was really cool, and I liked it. So I'm definitely looking forward to like leveling up my weapon. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that I hope that like with the like I said, I'm just thinking positively. Like I'm hoping that this I thought this thing went away. Oh well, what does it say? I think that person's down here. I think, but another thing that I kind of like was thinking about is like, with this leveling system that they're adding in, or not really a leveling system, but this whole like thing where yeah, there it is. Hey, Uriel, what's up? Follow me. I did get the quest. Like you go, like you don't have to go to a specific zone. It's not necessarily linear. You can pick which path you go, which means that the zones kind of adjust to your leveling, like to whatever level you are. I hope that they're bringing that tech into the game, because one of the areas that WoW is behind in terms of the game is scaled leveling, and I think that Warcraft needs that. When I do a how I would do leveling video, which I've done one before, but I want to update it with some new ideas. I think that what they really ought to do, if this works out well enough, they need to take this idea of picking like zones kind of going to your level. They need to take that to the whole game, and they need, because like leveling right now in the game is cool, but it's so rushed that you hardly ever get to finish a zone. It would be great to level up in Elwyn Forest even after you're past the leveling there. Like if you could just kind of do it like how Guild Wars or Final Fantasy does it, and kind of scale down, but also still get experience for whatever level you are. Like I could stay in Elwyn Forest and I could level up, and it doesn't matter what level I am, I'm still leveling up, and I can finish the zone, and then I can move on to whatever zone I want. I think that's a good idea. And I also think that would be great for even max level characters to play with lower level characters and scale down and have some type of reward, some type of benefit for doing dungeons or doing questing content with people who are lower levels, and be at level, so that they're not just one-shotting everything. I think that this tech needs to be introduced in WoW to make the experience better. However they decide to do it, it's very common in most other MMOs now to have that, and I think that it's one thing that this game is lacking in. And so I hope that that's what they're experimenting with Legion, and that they take that to a whole new, a whole new level, so to speak. No pun intended. I hope that's what they're doing, because I think it'd be great. But we'll see how it works in Legion. I don't think it's going to have as much of an impact as people might think. I think at first it's just you're going to end up doing all the zones anyways. It's just you get to pick which order you do them in, so it's not like, oh my god, my experience is going to be completely different. I mean, kind of, not so much that your experience is going to be different, but the order in which you experience it will be slightly different. And then when you start doing alts, you can pick a different one and whatnot. But in the end, it's going to be the same, because you're still doing the same content. It's just you're picking what order you do it in. So it's like, whatever. It's cool. I'm cool with it. It's better than a more forced linear path. And the scaling is going to be pretty neat. So I'm excited about that too. Now let's talk about a couple more things. Now I noticed that they went back on the pet battle thing, the pet battle stones, the epic stones. which was a big part of why I made that video that I made about how I would develop pet battles. And I'm glad they did. I'm glad they listened. Just like with the Water Strider, I'm glad that they listened. That Water Strider thing was crazy, man. Like that, having a Water Strider, and having gone through all I went through with the anglers to get it, I really did not appreciate having that taken away. And you guys, like you've seen me level in this series. If you go back and watch, I did use it some, but it's not like I always use it. So like their reasoning didn't really I didn't buy into it because I was like, I don't think this is an issue, like with the Water Strider. And they said that their concern was that everybody was just going to use the Water Strider and never use their other mounts. I don't want to say that they're lying, but I feel like that was an excuse, and I think that the reason why they were really doing it, I mean, I hate to be accusing them, but I just can't buy into that. It's not like I see Water Striders all over the place, and if you watch this leveling series, it's not like I've been running around that Strider all the time. I don't think people were doing that like they were trying to say. I don't know though. I mean, it could be, but I think that the reason why they were doing it is because there's going to be a new way to get water walking in Legion, and I think they wanted to try to make sure that people would feel compelled to do it. And it's going to involve fishing, and it's like, I think that's what they were doing. The problem with that though is you can't nerf rewards to make us have to re-earn them in a later expansion to keep content relevant. You need to come up with new ideas. It's not like if that's what they were trying to do, they need to watch that. It's one of those things. It's going to be like it's what they're doing with flying. You have to re-unlock flying, and it's going to be the way it's going to be the way things are going to be now. They were trying to remove it altogether, but now it's going to be this new thing where every expansion you're going to have to re-unlock the right to do what you're already doing. And I don't know. I mean, it makes sense for leveling. I just don't know how that works. We're just going to go ahead and skip these cutscenes. All right, now we basically do what we were just doing, just for different reasons. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. I'm not a big fan of re-earning things that I've already earned in the game. I know that they have to, make new content. I know that there is a lot of repetition, but when it comes to certain things, I'm not a big fan of having, flying is one thing. I can kind of get behind that a little bit, but like things like water walking, like that kind of stuff, I'm not down with that at all. I don't think that's a cool way to do it. Come up with new things, and I know it can get out of hand, but unfortunately, because they are now in this mindset, you're going to start seeing a lot of things like only usable on whatever expansion you unlock it on. So like there are items that are only usable in Draenor. You'll never be able to use them anywhere else. Only usable on the Broken Isles. You're going to see that stuff from now on because it allows them to re-release that content in a future expansion and force you to, not force, but that's not the right word, but have you have to unlock it again. Now, they can do that, that's fine, but they need to realize, Blizzard, if you're listening, you have to realize that if you just keep going to the same well and try to use the same old tricks every expansion, you're going to keep losing players because, trust me, if there's one thing that gamers these days can't stand, it's doing the same thing, like nothing fresh and nothing new. You can't just, repackage the same thing. I know, it's WoW. You kind of do that anyways. You re-level, you re-gear. That part of it's fine. That it would be weird if you weren't doing that, and some people actually hate that, which is kind of weird. But when it's little things, little perks, cosmetic-y kind of things, it's not really that exciting. Oh, I have to re-unlock water walking again with this new item, even though I already had water walking unlocked. Okay, I don't know about that. That one, stuff like that just kind of seems weird to me. For example, if Legion has Aviana's Feather for Legion, and it's called something else, the Burning Crusade Rocket, I don't know, something, and it does the exact same thing, it's like, oh, okay. It won't be as cool as Aviana's Feather was in Warlords. if you have a toy like that in Legion, all people are going to do is say, "Oh, cool, Avion's feather. This is the new Avion's feather." Like, and that's cool. I like that toy. You know, like it'll be like cool. It's there, but it won't be that exciting. You know, it won't be. Oh my God! Check out this thing you can do. You can like freaking like launch yourself up in the air. It won't be like that. You know, because you've already seen it. You know, so you have to come up with new ideas and you know, and that's why like that's the only thing that concerns me about stuff like that, like with the water walking thing. Like it's basically just them just repackaging and forcing you to relearn or re-earn a reward that you already have. I don't know how I feel about that kind of stuff. So anyways, that was the big issue I had with that. It was definitely like one of those issues that you're like, wow, people were really ticked about this. You know, like people were not happy about that. It's very funny, like sometimes how certain things can just tick off the community, like things that you would never think would be a very big deal. You know, but that was definitely one that really had got people's dander up. But I'm glad, you know, hey, I'm glad they listened. They were a little, I mean, I read the post, and it was definitely, like, there was a little bit of passive aggressiveness in there. Like, you could tell that the dev that wrote the post saying, hey, okay, we reversed the decision. Calm down. I guess, you know, like, I read it in a way that it sounded like he was a little bit passive aggressive. I get it, you know, just one of those things. It's like, you know, when you get, I guess when you get an outcry, and you know, fans were being really like nasty, I guess, about it, which, you know, it is what it is. It's the internet. People are crazy. You know, it's like death threats. I hear every time like there's an outcry, there's always claims of death threats. I don't know if it's always the case, but you know, here's, you know, the thing about the whole death threats thing is I'm not condoning it. Don't do it. If you do it, you're garbage. I've actually had it happen to me since I've been on YouTube 3 times. I made a very inflammatory Sims 4 video, and it ticked some people off. Let's just put it that way. And, you know, didn't really do much about it. Just filed a report. Never heard anything. You know, it's like, it's the internet. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't condone it, but it happens. Happens to everybody. I mean, if it happens to me, it can happen to anybody. And I guess the bigger you are, the higher the volume is. You know, but it's like, oh, you know, people were giving them death threats. It's like, you know, that's so sad to say. It's so common now that who cares? You know, they're like, it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, they probably don't even report it. I don't know. They might ban the people, but they probably like whatever. They probably get so many. It's like the president. It's like, you know, how many you think he gets? You know, it's like, it's just people. People are crazy, and the internet makes people anonymous, and that makes them even more brave to say things. You know, I used to get so caught up a lot of times in people and trolls. Like, I used to say things back, and it got to the point where a couple times I said some pretty horrible things back, and I was like, this is not me. I don't want to talk like this. But it's easy, like I said, negativity spreads. It's easy to catch the hate. And, you know, I finally was like, you know, who cares? Like, who the heck cares about these people? You know, like, let them talk. I can shut them up. I can block them. I can ban them. And I'll do that if I don't want to hear from them anymore. But I'm not going to respond. Because it's like, why? Doesn't accomplish anything. They're you know, people like that, they would never say it to me to my face. Because they wouldn't have the balls. So, who cares? You know, and that's kind of how you look at it. Like, it's not worth it. It doesn't stop me from doing YouTube. It doesn't stop Blizzard from developing. You know, so it's like whatever. And, you know, they listened to their player base. That whole situation got resolved, and that's that. So props to them for doing that. And shame on the community for being jerks sometimes. Holy crap. But, you know, the only other thing that has me concerned right now is the biggest thing is the way legendary drops are going to work. I don't know for sure how everything's going to work. From what I understand, there will be legendary items in the game, like gear, as in like armor, all kinds. It's like, I guess you can only equip one at first. I don't know if it's going to change if you can equip more, but they're going to be really powerful. So they're going to have like special effects on them, I guess. Kind of like, I guess, how the trinkets do right now. They're bringing a lot of Diablo elements into WoW, which is great. My only concern, though, is I guess the way that you get them, and this is like, ugh, it's like, ew. But I guess the way that you get them is by world drop. So you're out in the world, you kill a bear, and a legendary awesomeness drops. And if that's true, then, man, like, that's a lot of grinding. Like, it's a lot of, like, okay, I'm going to go to high mountain and kill stuff and just, like, grind out and to hope for one to drop. If that's how it works, ooh, I don't know if that's a good thing. Especially when it's like you're talking powerful items, and you know, like, it's one of those things, like, if they're really low drop rate, man, like, you know, I don't know, like, this whole new approach to, like, the game in terms of RNG, man, it's not, I don't like it. You can't do Diablo in WoW. You just can't, because, like, in Diablo, and a lot of people don't like it in Diablo, but at least in Diablo the game is faster paced. There isn't as much of an investment of your time. You can get things faster, and, like, you know, in WoW, when you add RNG elements to it, it's harder because, you know, you could be spending hours grinding and not get a single thing. WoW is a long-term investment, a longer-term investment, so there needs to be a little bit of a guarantee on things. That's why the Valor system works so well, because there was a guarantee. You know, there was never, like, this whole, like, RNG only. You can't put an RNG only system in this game. I think that's a big part of why it's suffered for as long as it has. You know, you can't just make it all RNG because it's not as fun. You have to put some, like, put it this way. And now, granted, I haven't raided as much as I haven't been the most diligent, but I've raided a lot in this expansion. I still don't have my 4-piece bonus. And, you know, I had someone who raided much more diligently than me, and a friend of mine, he didn't get his 4-piece bonus until, like, a month ago. And, like, dude, like, that's just not fun, you know? Like, it's not fun doing it that way. Because, like, like, you can kill the boss 100 times, and it's like, you don't get the piece. It's just like, come on, like, that just, ugh. It doesn't work as well as, like, at least, like, you know, like, back in Wrath, like, you know, you knew that, like, okay, if I kill the boss, my thing might drop, but if it doesn't, I'll get 7 badges, or I forget however many you got, and, you know, in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I can get that piece. That was a little bit more compelling. And then once you got the gear, it was like, okay, cool, I have this gear now, I can take down this boss because I have the gear, because, you know, believe it or not, you know, this is a novel concept. In theory, the gear is the stuff that you're supposed to get that helps you kill the enemy that you're trying to get to. So if you kill the enemy and then get the gear is kind of useless. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of RPGs have that. It's like in Final Fantasy when you get the ultimate weapon after killing the final boss, and you're like, great. Oh wait, why do I care? I don't. You know, so it's like I loved it. Like, before I ever saw the Lich King, I was fully teared up, and it felt right, because it's like, okay, I have the gear, now I can kill the dude, you know, and then I can upgrade the gear, and I can do harder modes. Like, that worked so well. And with these legendary items, if you're not careful, you're going to have a situation where raid teams are going to say, only recruiting people that have a legendary item, and because they do that right now at the ring a lot, I guess. And it's going to be like, oh, if I want to get into a raid team, then I have to freaking farm up an item that could take me God knows how long to get. And if that's the way the system's going to work, then it's going to be really, really hard. Gotta skip that cutscene. It's going to be really, really hard for people to get in the raiding, and it's going to be, like, it'll be exciting to get the item, but it'll be really boring getting it. And I know that I said if you make things compelling enough earlier, they'll do just about anything. And it's true, but you also at the same time, if you make things too it's all about that investment. You know what I mean? Like, there is a limit to how far you can go with that. Like, you can't just be like, okay, we'll put this ridiculous grind in front of these, and people will do it, and it'll be our outdoor. And that's the other thing. Like, it's fine if there are other things that we're doing in Legion while we're trying to get those. If that happens, it won't be as bad. But if that's their idea of hey, we're gonna have outdoor content, grinding out that legendary item, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think I have more faith in them than that. But hey, I've never been attacked running to the boats. That's a first. What a jerk. You know what? I'll kill this guy because screw him. I've never had that happen before. So yeah, I don't know if that's the case, but we'll see. I mean, it's you never know, man. You never know what they're gonna do. So I'm still looking forward to it. I mean, it's better than nothing. I hate to say it, it is something. So it could be worse, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyways, I think this is a good place to call it. We got through Tanan Jungle. We're back on track, and like I said, do not forget, guys. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Do not forget to vote in the straw poll. Let me know what class you want to see me play for Season 2 of WoW Leveling, Alliance side. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video, this episode. Leave feedback, reply to some of the subject matter and all that, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful day. This is Kephas. Until next time.